Well, no whiteboard today. I'm going to make two videos here. The first video is about studying anxiety, and the second is test taking anxiety. Kind of the same thing, kind of not. Why am I doing this? I'm taking this test. I love taking tests, but they're still scary because they're final, right? You take a test and it's not like you get a do-over. It's you're there to perform, and sometimes the test is a game, sometimes a competition, a fight, uh, whatever. So I'm taking this CSCS exam, and it's pretty challenging material. I'm cramming a bachelor's degree worth of material into my head in the 2 months that I'm doing it. I'm going to share with you my 3 steps. It's actually 2 steps, but the third is anyway. You'll see how to get over the fear, the panic. So the first thing you have to do when you study is maintain an even strain. All right, you have to acknowledge you have fear, and you have to find out what your weaknesses are with the material and what your strengths are. You have to get through all the material first. Okay, so that means study all the stuff that has to be studied, and you don't wait until a week before to do this. You need to break up your time, find out how long you have, and then try to get at least half that time or a third of that time to go into review and deeper study and assessment and fine tuning and raising and picking the low hanging fruit. And you should be working on the low hanging fruit the whole time. The the first month and a half of it, so I have 2 months that I was seriously studying for this. So 2 months, right? And the whole time is looking for low hanging fruit. I'm trying to learn my fundamentals, make sure I'm reading the questions. Or in the book, I'm reading the material, and while I'm taking notes in the text, I'm looking at it saying, what is going to be a good test question? Because when I went through school, through college, I was pretty good at determining what are the test questions going to be. Because there's only, I mean, you can't, everything is testable, but there's important stuff that they want you to know. That's why it's a cert, right? It's not, let's let's bug all the potential candidates who can earn this with the stupidest amount of trivia that we can. There's a reason why there's an exam. There's a minimum amount of this low-hanging fruit type of fundamental material that we should know. Acknowledge you have fear, but maintain an even strain. So don't let the fear get a hold of you. Understand you've got the fear. It's okay. You have a little panic, you have a little anxiety. Just keep it in check. Go to work. If you do the work, I promise you will get the results. Then you're going to reach a turning point. You're going to get all this material into your head, and you start taking practice exams and doing sample problems or whatever. It'll be overwhelming. It felt like a flood of material to me. It was like a waterfall or an avalanche, and I was swimming or I was like drowning. And then what happened? I went and I did. There's a video, 10 most difficult questions on the CSCS exam. The first time I looked at it was a few weeks ago, and I was crushed emotionally. It was terrible. I don't think I got two of those questions right. And it's not like the material was foreign to me. It was just you, to answer these questions. Some of the questions you have to really be dialed into what's going on, and that means being calm and having the ability to recall, having the information, understanding what questions are asked, knowing why it's right and knowing why the other was wrong. And then I did this video last night. I went back to that video last night and I did the questions again. I didn't remember the questions. I sat down, I did them all. And after the question and before the answers, the multiple choice answers were posted, I did the question. I figured out the answer. I got them all right. So I was ecstatic. I was blown away. I did it. I'm here. I'm getting here finally. Even after the other practice test, which I didn't score 100 on, but here I did this. So I got a handle on the material. So this low-hanging fruit thing is really, this low-hanging fruit philosophy is taking off. If you didn't see the low-hanging fruit video, the low-hanging fruit is master the fundamentals and then read the question. Not just read the question, but know what the question is asking. Don't jump ahead. Make sure you look at every word, paraphrase it, understand what it wants. And then when you pick an answer, know why your answer is the correct answer. and know why the other answers are false. Because sometimes we have a tendency to get into this groove. I know it is for me. I'll see a couple of keywords and I'll go right to the question, and maybe I missed the qualifier of not, or maybe I missed the time frame of during, before, during, or after something, and then I'll get the answer wrong. Stupid. Low-hanging fruit. All I had to do is read the question correctly. Okay, so back to the philosophy of maintaining an even strain, and then okay, what do we got here? Get to the turning point. So you will reach a turning point where it's all gonna gel, and you're gonna get it, and you're gonna say, "Yes, I got this," and then you'll be kind of shaky, and so we'll go back to step one, which is step 3. So you maintain even strain, you reach the turning point, and then you continue to maintain even strain. Sort of like that Buddhist saying about chopping wood and carrying water, and then getting enlightened, and then continuing to chop wood and carry water, whatever it is. It's the same thing here. Stay the course. Keep going. Don't become overconfident, because now the first problem was you were over-assessing yourself and undervaluing your information. And the problem with this is that bad psychology is going to affect your test taking. Because if you're negative, you're not going to learn as easy. You're not going to recall as easy. A terrible frame of mind is going to crush you on a test. It's going to make you nervous. You're going to forget things. Your timing is going to be bad because it means you're going to take too long on something, or you'll go too quick. So don't become overconfident, because the same thing can happen. You get so jazzed up that you become so you become, how would I put it? Because you're less concerned, right? You're like kind of too lackadaisical, but you're still high energy, because you're like, yeah, I got this, but you don't got this, because you just think you got this, and you think that thinking you getting this is going to get it, but it's not. You still have to be engaged. You have to stay engaged to be effective. Also, know what you know and know what you don't know. Just keep the accurate assessment. Don't let that scare you that you get questions wrong. It's okay, because your mindset for studying should be to study to get an A. Don't worry about failing. Worry about not getting an A. And then that way you build in this buffer, because you're gonna get stuff wrong, and that's fine. But your grade is gonna be so high, you're not gonna be anywhere near failing. I'm not worried about not getting the cert. I'm worried about not getting a grade so high that I cleared the hurdle by a mile. I don't want to be anywhere near the threshold. If the minimum grade per topic is a 70, I want to score 90s. I don't want it to be even a question, because they do something with the grade. I don't know what they do. They do some kind of, it's not a curve, but they give you your raw score when you take the test. So I'll know right away, I think, that I passed or not. But then they do something to that grade later. They process the number. Whatever it is, zero doubt, I'm going to take it, and I want to be almost 100. Did I at least get an A? Was it at least 93% or better on our? Yes, okay, that's good. That means I paid attention, I showed up, I did the work, I tried, I learned the material. All right, so that's what I'm saying here. Maintain an even strain. Try to get to that turning point. You'll reach the turning point, and then once you pass it, maintain an even strain still. All right, I'm going to do the next video about the test-taking anxiety.